Hi and welcome to this World Regression Week. I am Patricia Grootjans. I'm a quantum healer from the Netherlands and I practice QHHD and also beyond quantum healing. Now we are going through an amazing time where the whole world is going through a big transformation. And I've been thinking, what can we do as quantum healers to help people to handle all these changes that we're going through? And we can look at it from a spiritual perspective, and we can also look at it from a psychological perspective. And I have been creating some guided meditations that are more connected to the spiritual perspective on what's happening right now. And I believe that we are entering a new world because the world is changing for all of us. And I think we can use this time to think about, what do we want this world to be? How do we want it to be? How can we create a new world, the new earth? So if you're interested in finding my guided meditations, you can find those on YouTube and on the website of quantumhealers.com. I also will post a link on my own website. And today I want to talk about fear. And not only fear, but many different emotions that come up when people are going through the things that we are going through right now. Many people are in quarantine, people are isolated, people are afraid to become ill or to lose family members or loved ones to this virus. And fear can be very hypnotizing. Every emotion can be very hypnotizing. And before we know it, we lose sight of our gifts, our talents, our strength, our power. And today I would like to give you 2 exercises how to deal with fear or sadness or grief. And to do that, we divide emotions into certain levels, certain frequencies. And so I will be talking about higher emotions and lower emotions. And I don't mean that to put a negative label on lower emotions, but this is merely a way of seeing those emotions as energy. And energy can be divided in frequencies. And some frequencies are healing to us. They increase our well-being. And lower frequencies, well, they cause a lot of stress. And of course, they lower our vibration. So what can we do when we live in a time of fear or many restrictions? What can we do to shift our energy to higher levels? Okay, now I'm going to share my document with you. Let's see if I can do that. Nope, this one it is. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So this is all about transforming the energy of your emotions. Now, emotions are energies. And just like I said, we can divide them in different frequencies. And when we want to raise our inner peace, we can do that by accepting our feelings and by taking small steps to increase the energy of our emotions. When we are feeling depressed, it may be a considerable step to raise our energy to the level of joy. But when we take small steps, we may notice that it is quite easy to lift our energy to a higher frequency. Now, as you can see here, well, let's start with the lowest part of the emotions. Despair, apathy, feeling numb, or feeling in shock. Now, those are the emotions that seem to block every movement. You feel stuck. And just above that frequency, we find fear, grief, or shame. And right above that, we find anger, jealousy, hate. And we can see those emotions also as negative, but there is some action in it. So it isn't exactly as stuck. The energy isn't as stuck as it is in the lowest vibration, like despair or shock. Now, right above the level of anger or jealousy, we enter a more neutral state, like self-doubt or feeling insecure, or just not knowing what direction you want to move with your life, or you just don't know what to decide, or you seem to worry a lot, or you feel frustrated. This is also the level where there may be some confusion or a feeling of blame or guilt. Now, this level is just a tiny step away from more positive emotions, because right above that is the emotion of acceptance, peace, feeling at ease, relaxation, balance. So this is a more neutral state. And when you're in this state, it is just a tiny step to the state of inspiration and feeling very much alive. Above the state of acceptance, we find emotions as passion, enthusiasm, courage, self-awareness, feeling connected with other people, or feeling connected with nature or with God. This is the level where we find inspiration and where we find creativity. This is the level where we find solutions. Okay, and from this level on, it is just a tiny step to the highest vibration. And the highest vibration is the energy of love, joy, bliss, expansion, ecstasy, optimism, and trust. This is the state where we feel that we truly are connected with the source that created us. This is a state where we are connected with our own inner wisdom, which we call the higher self. So this is the state where we feel expanded. We have expanded awareness, and where we feel one. We feel the unity. Okay. Let's see. Now, when you are feeling despair or in shock, it is as if you feel that you can't move at all. And when you are in this state, start very small. Like bring your energy into motion, which is very difficult when you are in a state of shock. But you can do it with very small steps, like writing down your feelings. When you write down your feelings, you're using different parts of the brain, and you're using your hands, your body. So your hand is moving, which seems very insignificant, but it is very important. Okay, when you write down your feelings, Write down exactly what you feel, because this way you acknowledge what you feel. And when you have written down your feelings, make sure that you end this sentence with a positive note. And I always like the saying that Emile Coué has given us. What he said was, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better and better. And this is what he told his patients to say to themselves every day. So every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better and better. What can be very helpful when you are in a state of despair is to focus on your breathing, because your breathing brings you back into your body, and you need to be in your body. You need to be here on this earth. So when you focus on your breathing, you can visualize that you are inhaling light and you're exhaling light. Just breathe in light and breathe out light. And just go on with breathing in the light and breathing out the light. And doing this for a few minutes will help you, especially when you do this 2 or 3 times a day. You can also visualize a circle of golden light around you. Some people prefer blue light or a white light, which is all good, of course. What is important is that you shift your focus. You change your focus to something that is more lighter than a state of despair. So, very small step, but it can have a huge effect. Now, when you are in a state of anger or jealousy or hate, these seem to be very strong emotions. And the same goes to emotions like fear, which can be a very strong emotion. When you experience emotions like that, you can also take small steps to improve your energy. And you can do that by accepting the emotions that you're feeling. To accept those emotions, it's important that you are kind to yourself, to show compassion for yourself. So I always do this with just one simple word, soft. I use the word soft. So whenever I feel an emotion like anger or fear or grief or shame, I only say to myself, soft, soft, soft. And this helps to change the energy of fear or grief or anger. You can also do some physical exercises, of course, to change the energy and get your energy in motion. So you can do it on a physical level and a more psychological level by using the word soft. You can also use the word forgiveness or compassion, like, okay. You can use it as a keyword, actually. Like when you are in a state of anger, just use the word compassion, compassion, compassion. Okay. When you have shifted your emotion to a more neutral state, you get into the state of acceptance, peace, feeling at ease. And this is the state where you can relax, where you can find your balance again. And for some people, this neutral state may feel boring, but I think to feel bored can be very positive. I think it is actually the state where our creativity starts. I think many children have a chance now where they are staying at home right now, not able to go to school. I'm sure a lot of children feel bored, but boredom is the beginning of creativity. So I think a lot of good can come from feeling bored. It's the neutral state, and the neutral state is the beginning of love, joy, bliss, expansion. Right above the state of acceptance, we find passion, enthusiasm, courage, self-awareness, feeling connected. And just like I said, this is the level where our creativity takes place and we feel inspired, where we can start writing or painting or create music. And this inspiration, it often comes from the big source that created us. Now, when we move on from this state of being, we enter the state of love, joy, bliss, ecstasy. This is where we feel our consciousness can expand, where we feel trust, where we feel, well, optimism isn't exactly the word. I think it's much more than optimism. So this is the unity state, the state where we feel that we are connected with the source that we come from. And this is the state where we are connected with our own higher self, our own inner wisdom. This is the state where we find answers. So becoming aware of the frequencies of these emotions makes it a lot easier to shift your emotion. Another word that I find very useful in shifting our emotions is the word allow. Now, when you allow yourself to feel afraid, that actually is the beginning of the fear that has no control over you anymore. So allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. Allowing yourself to feel those emotions is the start of acceptance, which is such a significant step to raise your energy. And like I said, words have a very strong power. They are very powerful. And when we become aware of our negative self-talk, we can use words to shift the negative self-talk. And you can use sentences that you write down and that you can use every time that you need it. But you can also use just simply words. Okay, I've given a few examples. Like you could say, I love and accept myself. This is what we use within emotional freedom technique. When we focus on an emotion like anger or fear, we can tap on that emotion by saying, no matter how much fear I feel, I love and accept myself. You can also say, I am soft and gentle with this emotion. Or use the word peace, peace, peace. You can also tell yourself, this emotion is just energy, and I allow myself to let go of this energy. I allow my inner light to shine on this emotion. So collecting positive words, positive sentences, and use them when you are in a state of fear or anger or frustration. Words can have a huge effect on shifting your emotion and raising your energy level. Now we come to the theme of being in control or not. Now, I think a lot of what's going on in the world right now is triggering control issues with people. Like in many countries, the government is giving new rules, and where they say you're not allowed to go on the street, or not allowed to gather in groups, or not allowed to go to work or to school. And what does this do with your sense of being in control of your own life? This can create a lot of fear for many people. And we can work with that theme, being in control or not. Now, Shakespeare once wrote, "All the world is a stage, and men and women are merely players, and each play its part." Well, this also goes for our own individual lives. We are the writers of our own life story. We're also the directors of our own story. And even though we are part of a collective story, we do write the script of our own life. Sometimes we seem to forget that we are the director of our own life. Now, especially when we are dealing with a collective crisis, we may feel that we have no control over a situation. And although we may not always be able to change our circumstances, we can control how we respond to that. Now, crisis often involves the feeling of losing our power. And we can gain personal control or personal power by becoming aware of our inner guide, our inner director, becoming aware of this inner authority. Now, this is very helpful to understand who represented a limiting belief around influence, control, and conditioning in your life. So in this exercise, I'm going to ask you to write down who was the first person in your life who conditioned you in a way that limited your self-esteem, your self-power. Now, this could be a parent, but it could be a teacher or a doctor or someone who had an influence in your life that was limiting. Okay. Just give it some thought and write down who comes up first in your mind. Now, when you think of this person who represents your inner authority, what did you do in the past to please this person? Okay. Now, when you have given this some thought, you now may have some understanding about the limiting conditionings in your life. And I want to ask you to turn this around by tuning into your inner authority. And we can call this inner director or higher self or inner wisdom, whatever word resonates with you. And we can change our conditionings around limiting conditioning by creating a new thought that connects you with your own inner director. For example, this new thought could be, My higher self is lovingly guiding me to be healthy, safe, stable, strong, and happy. Or you could use this one. When I listen to my inner wisdom, I will know exactly how to be safe, healthy, strong, and happy. Now write down a sentence that empowers you, that empowers your inner guide. And you can use this sentence throughout the day. Now, these were two exercises that can have an enormous effect on your energy level. It's just two simple ways to shift your energy from fear to acceptance to joy. And no matter what is going on around you, you are director of what's going on inside of you. Inside of you is where you can find peace, love, joy, unity. And remember, we are all connected. We are all in this together, and we can help each other to go through these changes by accepting each other's emotions and by accepting each other's frustrations. This is how we can help each other to rise above this and to make the big change and see the world how we want our world to be, and to envision a new earth, a new planet where we can all be healthy and connected with each other in peace, and where we are all able to be strong. Okay, wishing you all the best, and see you next time, and see you in one of my meditations maybe. Thank you.